This is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. Today on the Jazz Update, Leon Thomas, his life and times and best hits. He made his first big hit in 1969 with his hit single, The Creator Has a Master Plan. He sang the song alongside jazz giant Pharaoh Sanders. He went on to promote avant-garde jazz in the mainstream jazz arena. Leon was in some aspects a conventional singer. His trademark was his yodeling in the middle of a vocal. That's a style that he borrowed from vocalist James Moody. He started out studying music in Tennessee State University, then moved to New York City in 1957, where he toured with the Apollo Theatre. Went on to perform alongside the Count Basie Orchestra in the 60s, also collaborated with jazz greats like Mary Lou Williams, Randy Weston and Roland Kirk. His first big break came with his recording of The Creator Has a Master Plan alongside Pharaoh Sanders in 1969. That performance rocketed him to stardom. In later years, he recorded for the Flying Dutchman label, Blues Time and Mega. Leon Thomas died in 1999, leaving behind a legacy in the Jazz Hall of Fame. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. Coming up on today's show, more about Leon Thomas, his biography and best hits. Also, some trending festival and album news. We'll be right back after some music. Stay tuned. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. You can check out my YouTube channel archives, The Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. Today it's all about Leon Thomas Jr. He was born on October 4th, 1937, a jazz and blues vocalist. He grew up in Illinois and was famous for his trademark yodeling and free jazz singing in the late 60s and 70s. So he was born Leon Thomas Jr. on October 4th, 1937 in Illinois. Went on to study music at the Tennessee State University. He was already well into music at the time. He would sing part-time as a guest vocalist for touring bands and alongside visiting performers. Leon was inspired to take up jazz singing after he watched a John Coltrane performance in the late 50s. In 1959, he moved to New York City, began singing in guest acts at the Apollo Theatre. Some of the bands that he would collaborate with included ensembles like the Jazz Messengers, also singer Dakota Staton, another jazz heavyweight. In 1961, he joined the Count Basie Orchestra, but left 1 year later to join the army. In the mid-1960s, he was discharged and resumed his music career. That's when he met jazz saxophonist Pharaoh Sanders. Together, Sanders and Leon Thomas released their first solo album under the label Flying Dutchman in 1969. They soon struck up an iconic relationship, as shown by the success of their first hit single released together, The Creator Has a Master Plan, released in 1969. Around this time, Leon Thomas also got famous for his distinctive yodeling style of singing. He would often break out into yodeling between the lyrics. Other singers soon took up this style of singing, including singers like Bobby McFerrin and Tim Buckley. That style of singing was also known as jive singing. Now, Thomas would say his music was a style of social commentary. So he recorded with the Flying Dutchman label throughout the 70s, also toured alongside bands of Freddie Hubbard, guitarist Carlos Santana, also with saxophonists Gary Bartz and Jerry Brown. His recordings of spiritual and African-influenced soul jazz became very popular in the 90s. They went on to become known as Cosmic Grove music. In the late 90s, he toured the US and Europe alongside a band called Blues Wing. In 1991, Leon Thomas died, leaving behind a legacy as a jazz vocalist. He has often been hailed as the John Coltrane of jazz vocals. His unique style was due to his combination of scat singing, which means singing syllables to mimic background instrumentals, his adherence to African vocal traditions, and his yodeling. And here's a quick peek into some of his best albums of all time. Spirits Known and Unknown, released in 1969. Leon Thomas in Berlin, released in 1971. And Blues and the Soulful Truth, released in 1972. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. We're going for a short break, but we'll be right back after that. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. You can check out my YouTube channel for archives of today's show on the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. Now it's time to talk about a trending album. The Modern Jazz and Folk Ensemble, an acclaimed jazz folk group, are back with a new single, a spellbinding version of Nick Drake's Parasite. So, this is quite a famous jazz group. They made their live debut last year at the EFG London Jazz Festival. Their music is all about the folk revival that took place in the early 70s. They basically reimagined those sounds in a modernistic jazz setting. Often features guest vocalists on their tracks. Parasite is their latest single in this format. It also features Laura Kinderland on guest vocals. The backdrop is beautiful psychedelic string and guitar melodies. The result, a beautiful dreamy throwback to the folk music of the 70s. So you can listen to their single for free on Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify, Apple or Pandora. So that was a quick peek into a single doing the rounds, and you're tuned into the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashani Silva. We're going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some of Leon Thomas's best hits of all time. Stay tuned. This is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashani Silva. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for archives of today's show on the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashani Silva. Today, we're talking all about Leon Thomas Jr., his life and times and best hits. Now let's talk about some of his best songs of all time. The first song is called China Doll. Now this one's a song about the fascination with Chinese people and Chinese culture. It's expressed through the story of a man who meets a beautiful Chinese woman and falls in love. Malcolm's Gone, a song written at the height of the civil rights movement. That was a time when many artists took to expressing their cry for equality through their music. Malcolm's Gone is a beautiful jazz tribute to civil rights activist Malcolm X, who was assassinated a few years earlier. The Creator Has a Master Plan, a song that talks about the philosophical. It says, everything in the universe is interconnected. We are creatures of design, not happenstance. And Let's Go Down to Lucy's, a song that talks about turmoil in a relationship and how the singer feels. This is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashani Silva. On this segment, we're going to be talking all about the meanings of these songs. We'll be right back after some music. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashani Silva. On today's show, Leon Thomas Jr., his life and times and best hits. On this segment, we're talking about the meanings and details of some of his best songs of all time. Here's the first song, China Doll. It was composed by Pee Wee Ellis, Jesse Kilpatrick and Leon Thomas. It was released in 1972. So in this song, the singer is taking a walk down Chinatown, and there he meets this beautiful China doll, a beautiful Chinese woman. She is described as an angel with the sun glinting off her hair. Then she approaches him and love blossoms. The song goes on to detail how they walk together down Chinatown, admiring the surroundings together. So this song is basically a metaphor for the beauty of Chinese culture, also the excitement of discovering new things in life. It's a journey of self-discovery and exploration of Chinese culture and people, represented by the China Doll. Now for a song about disappointment after a failed relationship, it's called Let's Go Down to Lucy's. This song is actually a Spanish song. The opening lines say, what does it matter if I'm running out of time anyway? So there's this feeling that time is running out. The singer has accomplished very little despite what he wanted to do. The next line says, does it matter if the world will forget about me anyway? Meaning, there's a lack of purpose and insignificance in the suitor's goals. Then the singer starts dwelling on the past and how he has been reduced to just partying and whiling away his time smoking and drinking. The singer is struggling to cope with feelings of lost love. In the final verse, he invites the listener to enter his empty world, hoping against hope that there might be some new chance of a new destiny shared together. So this one's a song that blends nostalgia, melancholy, but also a glimmer of hope. It was composed by Pee Wee Ellis, Leon Thomas and released in 1972. Now for a beautiful 1969's jazz tribute to civil rights activist Malcolm X. This song is all about the trials and tribulations that African Americans went through at that time. It's called Malcolm's Gone. It was composed by Pharaoh Sanders and Leon Thomas. In the 50s, many musicians like Charlie Parker, Charles Mingus and John Coltrane had joined the civil rights movement, the fight for equality through their music. As musician Gillard Asman explained in a 2005 essay, Black Americans were calling for freedom. Jazz expressed it better than mere words. So in that spirit, Leon Thomas composed a song called Malcolm's Gone alongside jazz great Pharaoh Sanders in 1969, a tribute to civil rights activist Malcolm X, who was assassinated in 1965. A very deep and soulful song combined with Thomas's trademark yodeling. In the lyrics, they say, I know he's gone, but he's not forgotten. I know he died just to set me free. Yes, Malcolm's gone, but he's not forgotten. He died just to save me, give me back dignity. So this song and melody is fashioned in the style of a funeral service. It ends with the congregation honoring the memory of Malcolm by applauding together. The Creator has a master plan, one of the songs Leon Thomas was most famous for. It was released in 1969 in his album Spirits Known and Unknown, combined beautiful instrumentals and powerful lyrics. This song talks about the master plan that the Creator has, how everything is about order. There's a higher power that governs the universe. In the song, everybody is interconnected. Through that unison, we can accomplish great things. It's all about embarking on a journey of reflection and understanding our deeper purpose, and embracing the beauty of the world around us. So that was some top hits from Leon Thomas, and this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Joshua De Silva. You can check out my YouTube channel for archives of today's show on the Weekend Jazz Update with Joshua De Silva. Now, if you live in North Carolina, it's worth checking out the Little Friday Music Festival. It takes place every week in Wilmington, North Carolina. Features a weekly roundup of music, theater, comedy, pop-up market themed events, and more. Now, this week's event features the North Carolina Jazz Festival. They are celebrating their 44th anniversary. This year's episode brings a wide range of musicians to Greater Wilmington for a 3-day event starting Thursday through Sunday. This year's edition features artists from Wilmington and across the USA. Also showcases a variety of styles. Timings for the performance. It starts at 7:30 p.m. and goes on till 10:30 p.m. So here's some of the names in the lineup. The Emmett Cohen Trio, the Wilmington Band Port City Trio, Jonathan Russell, and more. For more information, please visit www.ncjazzfestival.org/hash. And that was some trending festival news on the Weekend Jazz Update with Joshua De Silva. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back after that. When we come back, we're going to be talking about more of Leon Thomas Jr.'s best hits of all time. Stay tuned.